The share price of Lucid Motors hit a new low this year of $2.29. As the Saudi-backed company has been preparing for the mass production of its new second model, the Lucid Gravity, within the next 8 weeks, its stock is under pressure. Why? Why investors believe that the company is basically worth peanuts? Well, the reason: the company aims to produce more than 9,000 vehicles, but since reaching a high in 2024 of $4.43 in late August, Lucid shares have dropped around 40%. That means they're down 44% year to date. The company's market capitalization now stands at $5.5 billion, meaning it's worth a fraction of what it was worth a couple of years ago. A lot of people believe the company is in trouble, clearly. That's the key reason for why the stock price has gone down 44% this year. Now, CEO Peter Rawlinson, who was the highest paid automotive industry CEO last year in the world, emphasized multiple times that the new model will significantly increase Lucid's addressable market, even though it's very, very expensive. Unfortunately, the company has warned that it is expecting a larger than anticipated loss for the third quarter. And it's announced a public offering of more than 262 million shares. It's trying to raise money. It's running out of cash. This news sent Lucid's stock price down. Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, Lucid's largest shareholder, revealed its plan to purchase an additional 375 million shares, aiming to maintain its 59% ownership. So, what's Lucid doing with all this money? Well, it's going to basically invest in building new cars. Back in August, they announced they would inject $1.5 billion in cash through their affiliate AR Third Investment as they're scaling production of the Lucid electric SUV. Now, Lucid forecasts a loss from its operations of between $765 million and $790 million for the third quarter. That's more than analysts expected. And that's about $800 million loss over the course of only 3 months. Morgan Stanley had something to say. They believe this is a larger and earlier than expected capital raising. The Wall Street firm had forecast $1.6 billion of gross proceeds from capital raises in fiscal years 2025 and 2026. But now the question remains, are the Saudis really willing to keep on piling cash into Lucid, into a company losing this much money? And here's the thing, this may sound like there's a lot of cash to burn, but Morgan Stanley said this: we estimate this capital raise is roughly equivalent to our projected forward cash burn for the fourth quarter of 2024 and all of 2025, and is meant to provide a bridge through the Gravity SOP ramp and through the development of the mid-size model in late 2026. Lucid estimates its third quarter revenues to be approximately $199.5 million, which, to be honest, still not very much. And it shows you that an average selling price of $71,700 means that this is a 14% decrease compared to the previous quarter and a 24% decline year over year. In other words, revenues at Lucid are dropping pretty quickly, down 24%. A lot of analysts are saying demand for electric cars in the US is slowing down, and that's the reason that Lucid's revenues are falling as well. But that's not actually true. In fact, electric car sales have grown this year in America. So can the Lucid Gravity save the company? Lucid have just revealed the price of the new Gravity electric SUV, which it does look good. I think I'm a big fan of it, but there is a couple of issues. A lot of people are saying it's just too expensive, but here are the details. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Congratulations to the Dodgers. They just won the World Series about 10 minutes ago. That was cool. That was really cool to see that. Now, I actually got to see the Dodgers play when I was in California, my first baseball game in America ever. They won a closeout Game 5 to get to the second series, whatever it's called. Anyway, they ended up winning the World Series, so that's really cool. Okay, the Lucid Gravity. First of all, this is a great looking SUV. It looks fantastic. It's got a lot of range. As you can see, it's going to be very efficient. Lucid's engineering is pretty damn impressive, but it is pretty expensive. Now, apparently, production will begin by about the end of 2024, probably November, December of this year. We have some specs, some details though. The starting price will be US $80,000, but that model won't be available until, well, more than a year from now, towards the end of 2025. That model would, well, in theory, will actually get the US EV incentive of $7,500 US. It may not get it though, because, I mean, the Trump administration says they're going to get rid of EV incentives. So by the time this vehicle comes to market late next year, if Trump does win, get into the White House, then obviously, yeah, it won't get the incentive. So the initial model will cost $95,000 US. And honestly, Lucid is saying there's a lot of interest for it. I don't think there is. It's just too expensive. $95,000 US, it's a lot of money for any car, no matter how good it is. Keep in mind, that's the price of the Cybertruck, the dual motor Foundation series, right? The Foundation series is about the same price. The Cybertruck is a much, much bigger vehicle than this. Range though, range is actually really, really good. The Lucid Gravity is said to have 440 miles of range. No idea how big that battery pack is, but 440 miles of range, that's pretty good. Before I go into the power, it appears as though it may have a 117 kilowatt hour battery, because that is the battery in the Lucid Air Grand Touring, and Lucid have said it will be similar to that battery. So it may have a 117 kilowatt hour battery pack, which is a very, very big battery, and which would enable it to get 440 miles of range in the real world. Power, 800 horsepower in the Touring trim. That's a lot of power, 800 horsepower. Honestly, I don't think people care too much about that, but yeah, that's a pretty good number. Now, one of the cool things that I think about this vehicle is the fact that it has Tesla's NACS charging standard. So you can drive this vehicle and use Tesla's supercharging network. Keep in mind though, you either pay a subscription for the supercharging network, you pay a monthly subscription, or you pay about 30% more for Tesla superchargers than what Tesla vehicles will pay. So that's a good feature. And also I think the interior looks really nice as well. It's got quite a big screen for the driver, a massive screen in fact, and then a screen in the middle of the vehicle that looks like it's about a 15-inch size in diameter. The interior to me looks really, really nice. I'm a big fan of the interior. I think they've done a fantastic job. Now, orders. Can you order a Lucid Gravity? Well, you can in about 1 week. On the 7th of November, you can order one. Honestly, I'm really interested to see how this does, because Lucid are saying there's huge demand for it. I honestly don't think there is. Fantastic car. If they're selling this model here for $80,000 US, I agree. I think, knowing it will qualify for US EV tax incentives and then come in at $72,500 drive away, I think people would say, yeah, all right, that's definitely worth it. But at $95,000 US, that firmly puts it into the luxury car segment, and really that's going to limit its demand pretty significantly. Thanks for watching.